Okay, well, day one of workouts, whatever this series ends up being, this is where it started. So, just about to hit a push workout. I recently switched from, I don't remember what split I was doing before. Maybe upper, lower, upper, lower? No, I don't remember. But anyways, recently switched to a push-pull leg push-pull. I'm only doing legs once per week. I know that's technically a little bit suboptimal, but my upper body's my focus, and I don't really want to be lifting for more than 5 days per week right now, just due to time constraints. So, anyways, let's get into it. Just bought this the other day, by the way. One of these chopper things that I've seen people do. It just seemed like it'd be really easy, just, to chop it. My pre-workout breakfast is 2 Rice Krispie treats and a Fairlife, keeping it light on the stomach. If you have a lot of fats and fibers right before a workout, you might just get a little bit of upset belly, so I'm trying to avoid the upset belly. And then I got a Reign for the caffeine, 300 milligrams of caffeine. So it's if you're not used to drinking caffeine, I would not jump right into one of these. If you're like a 1 cup of coffee kind of person, that's like 3 or 4 cups of coffee. Okay, let's get to it. We're going to start off with a quick cycling warm-up. I just like the bike. I don't really like running that much, not a huge runner. And walking, I find that I can't really push myself. I guess incline walking, but I don't have an incline treadmill here. If I was in a full gym, I would either do a incline treadmill or just a bike. 5 to 10 minutes, get the heart rate up a little bit, and do a few warm-up sets, and we'll get into it. Recently ended a fat loss phase. I think I'm about maybe a week into the bulk. I will bulk for months until I feel a little bit, I don't know, I like feeling relatively lean. So maybe 6 months of bulking ahead of me, and then I'll do a 1-month cut. I've kind of thought about splitting that up rather than doing like 8-month bulk followed by 2-month cut. These are rough numbers, but roughly, I've thought about just doing like 4-month bulk and then a 1-month cut, or maybe even shorter cut depending on what I need. But I'm keeping the calorie surplus pretty minimal because a bigger surplus doesn't mean faster muscle gains, it means faster fat accumulation. There's an upper limit to how much extra energy we can ingest that'll be beneficial for muscle growth. A lot of people use calorie tracking to, dial in their fat loss phase. I think it's pretty relevant to dial in tracking for your bulk too. Okay, first up we have a costal cable press. This is a pressing variation that targets the lower chest fibers or the costal pec fibers. I'm going to start off with a very, very light weight, just something to get the joints warmed up, muscle warmed up a little bit. For the bench, we want it at an upright position. I'm at 85 degrees, 90 degrees would be fine, 75 degrees would be okay. Wouldn't go much lower than that. And then for this, what we're looking for to target these costal fibers is a slightly downward, just like this. So my preference is that these are just slightly above my shoulder height. So when I'm seated here, you can see they're just a little bit above that. And then you'll be able to see what happens when I press, and I'm pressing in line with the cables, very important. So I'm pressing slightly down. That helps target those lower pec fibers. Making a pretty sizable weight jump from the 5 to the 10, and then for my working set, I'll probably do 15. I don't know what the weight is. Every cable machine is different. I'm not worried about the weight. I'm worried about taking my sets close to failure. That's it. So I enter it as 10 multiplied by whatever cable it is, or whatever number it is. So if it says 6, I enter 60 pounds. Is it 60 pounds? I don't know. 2 warm-up sets, about to do my first working set. I'd bet I get 5, 6, or 7 of these, and if I only get 5, I'll decrease the weight a little bit. Or taking it to like 1 RIR, maybe 0. I maybe could have eked out 1 more, but we'll save that for the second and third set. We're doing 3 sets of this. Okay, set number 2 was a bit harder. I'm gonna drop the weight by 20 pounds from 150 to 130. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, for this one, drop the weight to 13 or 130. I was doing 150 or 15, whatever. I'm going to take it to failure. I'm gonna go until I can't get a full rep, and then I'm gonna try to get 2 to 3 partials, although this is usually an exercise that's pretty hard for me once I take it to failure to get any partials, but we'll try it anyway. Oh, ooh. Okay, nice. So the reason we're doing those lengthened partials is more and more studies are coming out that show that your muscle grows better when we put more force or spend more time in the lengthened position, or when our, really out of breath, when our muscles are at their more stretched position. So by incorporating more lengthened partials, or by doing more work in the stretched portion of whatever muscle group you're trying to work, you'll probably get better muscle growth results over the long term. Oh, that sucked. It's good though. I mean, I already got a chest pump a little. Next up is a clavicular cable press. So I'm gonna be dropping the angle of this, lowering these cables, and hitting more of the upper chest, whereas before we just hit the lower chest. So if I were doing like a dumbbell bench press or barbell bench press, and I wanted to hit the upper chest, I would put my bench angle to roughly 30 degrees, wouldn't go above 45. You want a pretty minimal angle. The higher angle you do, the more anterior delt you get. It's not a bad thing, it's just not what our focus is. But for this one, I'm gonna put my bench at 60, cables very near to the bottom, because we don't have to worry about when we're working with cables, we don't have to worry so much about the bench angle. We have to worry about the cable's line of resistance. So for me, this setup works very well to target the upper chest fibers, the clavicular chest fibers. So I don't need to weight this one nearly as heavy. This one's at a 12, whereas the last one's at a 15. Ooh. We're doing 3 sets of that. Okay, we'll drop weight on the next one. Okay, last set was pretty hard, so we dropped the weight a little bit. I'm not always gonna have my best day. You're never gonna have your best day at the gym. Well, you're not always gonna have your best day at the gym. No, you're never going to, but Not every day is going to be an all-star performance. There's something that I like, this kind of like imaginary rule that's if you go to the gym 5 days per week, one of those days is going to be a home run, one of those days is going to be the worst feeling gym day of your life, and the other 3 are just going to be like pretty mediocre. I would say, if I'm really trying to analyze it, I started the workout shortly after waking up, didn't have much water, I'm probably moderately dehydrated, so I went, grabbed a bit of water, and I'll just start sipping it a little more aggressively through this workout and probably be feeling quite a bit better. But I'm not worried about it. As long as I push myself hard enough, I'm taking my sets close to failure, I will still grow muscle. Not every day you don't have to set PRs every single day to grow muscle. It's just not realistic at a certain point. We're taking this to failure, and then we're gonna do 2 to 3 partial reps. I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm trying as hard as I can on those partials. That's tough. Okay. That's it for chest work. Next, we're going to do some middle delts, or side delts, whatever you want to call them. And then some triceps. I think we're doing triceps, side delts, triceps again. Next, we have cross-body cable extensions. This is probably my favorite tricep movement, although it's probably my favorite tricep movement. Yeah, I think in certain scenarios, maybe the katana extension is slightly. They're just different. They're just different movements. Knowing what we know about longer muscle positions, the katana extension's probably slightly better. So if you're low on time, I'd probably do that one, which we'll do later in this workout anyway. But I've been trying to grow my arms a little bit. That's the focus this mesocycle. So, we're gonna see if increasing volume on the triceps a little bit has any pronounced effects. Also, I like using these cuffs just because I can slip my hand through them. It just makes it easier to grab onto. I don't have to worry about grip strength. So I just put my hand through just like that. And then, this is way too much weight. There we go. All right, so yeah, I just slip my hand through just like that. And what we're looking for here is that the cable path is in line with the arm pressing or extending path. So nice. Yeah, so if you don't have access to a cable setup that's like this, you could just do these one arm at a time. I would recommend having a slight abduction of the arm, maybe about 30 degrees, 45 degrees, just like that. So just right there. And if you need to lower or raise the height of the cable in order to help with that, by all means, feel free. Okay, last set. You know the deal. We're gonna go to failure, and then we might do 1 to 2 partials. We'll see what happens. I think I've said that at the end of every set, at the end of whatever. Yeah, that's tough. Can we see them? Can we see the triceps though? I mean, if we can see the tricep, then it was worth it, right? This next exercise is for the middle delt or side delt. So if you want, your delts to pop off of you a little bit, this is the number one exercise I would recommend you do. It is by far my favorite middle delt, side delt exercise. I think I just said that, but I actually don't remember. All the muscle has gone to my triceps and my chest. So yeah. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set a cable up to wrist height. You can do these 2 at a time. I don't know, and you can do them behind the back. So you take them, spin them around, take them behind your back, and then go like that. For me, these always clash up against each other. I have put the carabiner above the ball. That helps a little bit, but honestly, I just like doing them 1 at a time. I can line it up a little bit better, and it just feels better to me, but it's preference based. Now, like I said, you're gonna set this up to wrist height. So right about there, just like that. And what this does is when you're pulling directly against the cable, it is providing the most resistance versus like when I arc up and it's kind of going like this. This doesn't provide as much resistance as it will like this. So our side delt is at its most stretched position right here, at its most shortened right about here. And so we're providing the most tension at the bottom here when our muscle is in that lengthened position. Obviously, like I said earlier in the video, that's beneficial for muscle growth. So I'm gonna throw this to a 4. I'm gonna do one warm-up set. I'm gonna throw it at a 2 and just do one quick warm-up set just because, I just don't like having achy shoulders. All right, so slip this. You can use this with a handle. I did it for about 2 years with a handle. Recently switched to the wrist cuff, kind of tested that out. I like wrist cuff a lot more for the same reason. I don't know, I'm just started, once you get to a certain weight, starts feeling a little achy on the wrist joint. And so it's like, just do what's comfortable. And this is what I like. Okay, so I'm gonna start with it parallel, going across my body, and then turn 30 degrees in toward it. This is something called the scapular plane, just like this. And there we are. And I'll get another side angle so you can see the angle that I'm working at specifically, but I'm just gonna do like maybe 8 of these each side, something real light, just something to warm up the shoulders. We've been doing a lot of pressing movements, so maybe this is overkill, but I don't know. Rather be safe than sorry. It's not like anything super, super dramatic would likely happen, but anytime you do a warm-up set, 1, you're prepping your body for the movement ahead, which is probably gonna increase or improve performance. And then 2, it just reduces your likelihood of injury. Is it, 100% that I would get injured if I didn't do a warm-up set? No, of course not. It's probably like 2 or 3%. But if I can turn that 2 or 3% to 0.5% or 1%, these are made up numbers, but you know what I'm saying. Just reduces the likelihood of any tweaks, any soreness, not delayed onset muscle soreness, of course, but you guys know what I'm saying. Yeah, if you haven't tried wrist cuffs for these, highly recommend. And if you're still doing dumbbell lateral raises, try this out. I mean, seriously, it's that much better. I like to do my weaker arm first. It's my left side because I'm right-handed. You don't have to do that. It's just what I do. And then I match reps on the stronger side. Okay, so right about here. Might be able to get 12. That's 8, 9. I'm getting 12. I'm getting 13. One more. We'll leave it there. I might have been able to get one more, but we'll go all out on the last set. Felt like I left one in the tank there, maybe. There's probably like 2 to 3 left in the tank there, but I could take my stronger side to failure as well. But right now, I just go to 0 to 1 RIR, maybe 1 to 2 RIR on my weaker side, and then match on the stronger side. On exercises that are a little more cardio demanding, that are still unilateral, like a single leg press or a split squat, I will take like a 60 to 90 second rest in between. This one, I don't feel a need to do that. There are some people that might say, you know, there's neurological fatigue and shit like that, but like, and they're probably not wrong, right? They're probably not wrong. It's just sometimes time efficiency. You know, if you're taking, I take 3 minutes between every single set, but if I'm just doing like left side and right side, if I'm doing 3 minutes between every left and right exercise, man, we're gonna be here for hours. So do what is, my recommendation to you, do what is practical and sustainable before optimal. Optimal is great, but it shouldn't compete with, you know, if you're only able to be optimal 20% of the time and the other 80% of the time you're like, if it's not optimal, I'm not doing it, then like, come on now, be realistic. Okay, set number 2. You know, the tough thing about recording these is that I don't have any music. It's right about now, I'd throw on like Kendrick or something to like get me like kind of amped up. Yeah, sometimes you just hit those walls. You gotta keep going anyway though. Ooh, my goodness. How are they looking from back there? Do they look okay? Love you. Last set. So on this one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I could do, I'm debating between doing a mechanical drop set in the sense of, should I change the moment arm? Basically, if the wrist cuff is here, there's more resistance being put on my side delt, but if I put it up higher, it reduces. I tried that last week, then I had to like manually adjust the cable. We're just gonna do a straight set, maybe a drop set. A drop set would be where I drop the weight from the 40 or whatever that it's at to like 30 and then do, you know, another set to failure. I'd probably only be able to get like 2-3 reps. We'll do that. It's last set, might as well. Okay, no, drop the weight. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that gets it going. How many did I do? I think I did 13. I don't count the drop set. I'm not worried about that. Okay, I think I did 13. I'll go back and check the footage and then count it. Whew. Oh, also, for these wrist cable ladder raises, if you do them, take a step out so that that's not happening at the bottom of each rep. So, like, go right about, just right here. All right, good. Done with side delts. Now we're going to do katana extensions, and that's the last exercise we're gonna do for today. Solid push day. All right, for this one, again, I like using cuffs. You could just grab like above the ball. You could grab the ball. That works too. Just a heads up, if you are grabbing above the ball, here's a nice little tip for you. Take the pin out, extend, put the weight in. Now your hand won't get pinched at the bottom. You don't have to do this much necessarily. You could just do like right here, right? So now your hand won't get pinched at the bottom. So that's pretty nice. But I like using wrist cuffs anyways. I set this, for this exercise, set it up to about waist height. Could go a little bit higher, right about here. And you just take it, bring it overhead. I like, again, to work in the scapular plane and then extend and drive your hand up like you're pulling a very heavy katana off your back. You could call these overhead cable extensions or something like that. I just think katana extension sounds really cool, so that's the name I stick with. But it is just like that. And I'm just getting a really quick warm up, making sure everything is feeling right. I'm just gonna do like 6 reps each side. Also, I don't know if you can hear my left elbow click when I go too deep. So if you notice that I'm not going like a full range of motion like all the way, I stop right about here. I don't have any pain with the clicking, it just kind of bugs me. So I sometimes take it a little bit short. So if you notice that, that's why. Last exercise, once again, we're doing 3 sets. I don't always do 3 sets everything. It just so happens that like today, and I don't know, in general, 3 sets is a good number. It just feels like sometimes I do 2, sometimes I do 4. I rarely do 5, rarely do 1, but 2, 3, 4, that's pretty common for me. Okay, let's start with my left arm, weaker side, usually. And just like I'm drawing a very heavy katana off of my back. Okay, 11. Tried for 12, couldn't get it. Okay, one more set and then we're done. Gonna do a drop set. Got 9 there. Ooh. I figure I might as well throw in a drop set. I'm not gonna be working my triceps again for, 3-4 days, so might as well. I know I got one more rep there. That's fine. Just taking both sides to failure. Not really worried about evening them out. Come on. All right. That's a wrap. I'm not too good at the whole posing thing, but like, we'll try. Triceps feel like they're gonna explode right now. No mic for this part. Chest got a pretty good plump. Triceps feel good. Side delts are blown up. They feel puffy, Like, I don't know any posing, so if you're looking for bodybuilding advice in terms of like posing, not the guy. I weigh 162 pounds today. This isn't my absolute leanest, but I did just wrap up a fat loss phase at the end of the 7-8 bulk. I'm flexing my abs right now. If I'm not like, here. I'm kind of like pushing it a little bit here. If I'm just like normally speaking, this is generally what it looks like. And then if I'm like really, really consistent thing. Long form content, I don't know, seems cool. I'll make clips out of it. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know. But for the most part, I'm open to feedback, but I'm pretty much just going to be casually letting you follow along with my workouts. This is my home gym. If you couldn't see the Alex Team Fitness up here. Yeah. All right, that'll wrap it up. Maybe I'll go outside and show you what I'm about to eat. So I don't usually have too much of an appetite after working out, so I'm just going with something that's going to be easy for me to down. I thought about doing leftover tacos, but I'll just be able to eat a little bit more of this. It'll just sit a little more comfortably in my stomach. I'm probably going to do something to bulk up the protein, because I'll maybe get like 15-20 grams of protein from the milk. At each meal, I shoot for about 30-40 grams, because across the day, I need to get like 150-160 grams of protein. I could probably go with less. Like, I'm 160 pounds. The often quoted scientific recommendation is 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. That obviously changes if you have more body fat to lose, but and you have less lean mass. Like, if you're 250 pounds and you're maybe 50 pounds overweight, you don't need to be eating 200 to 250 grams of protein. It's not necessarily like overkill. It's probably overkill. It's not like a bad thing. It's just, So anyways, I'm gonna eat a pretty sizable bowl of cereal. I'm bulking right now, so and usually my hunger is pretty minimal, just like generally speaking. So 100 grams of Lucky Charms minis. These are pretty good. I liked the Cinnamon Toast Crunch minis a lot more though. And then just gonna follow it up with 240 milliliters of milk. Which, do we have milk? Yes, we do. This bowl of cereal plus 2 hard-boiled eggs. I throw a little bit of sriracha on top of these. Makes it pretty good. It makes it passable. That's where we'll leave that. But yeah, this will probably be about 30 grams of protein right here. Might throw like some Greek yogurt in as well, just like a 000 Greek oikos yogurt. But this is it. These are Costco hard-boiled eggs. So they're like prepackaged, 2 at a time, already hard-boiled, which is nice. I do a once-over because sometimes you'll see like a little brown spot in here, and that is a piece of shell, and that makes me not happy when I eat that and there's a crunch in my hard-boiled egg. That makes me very, 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 very sad. Makes my day not so good. Today I have 2 meetings, one with Danielle, the dietitian, and then one with one of my clients, one-on-one clients, Eric. Tuesdays are my check-in days, so a lot of work to do ahead of me. It's not that good, honestly, but it's quick and easy protein, healthy fats from the yolk. I think it's just about trying to find like easy ways to get your protein in. So many people struggle getting protein in, and this and Greek yogurt, beef jerky, some easy ways. Beef jerky can get expensive though. I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me eat all of this. Just feels kind of redundant, so we will end it here. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. Take care.